Serzh Sargsyan has spoken out again. This time, he decided to speak up a day after the surrender of members of the Sasna Tsrer armed group to the authorities. Sargsyan met with representatives of various segments of the population, representatives of culture, healthcare, mass media, social and political figures, and members of the public council, as well as representatives of the legislative and executive power and clergy headed by the Catholicos. During the critical situation in Yerevan with regard to the seizing of the police department, the Armenian President spoke just once, and he did that only a week after the events started. Now, Serzh Sargsyan decided to speak again. Apparently, he was reminded that he was the head of the republic, and from time to time it was necessary to communicate with the people. A bit unsure, reading from the paper, the Armenian president once again shared his endless joy on the occasion of the surrender of the armed group. After that, all of a sudden, Sargsyan remembered that there were still laws in Armenia.
It is time to draw conclusions, and there will be enough time for this. However, one thing is obvious: it is necessary to speed up reforms in the public life. In the first place, it is important to eradicate the temptation to solve problems through violence. Every person has the right not to like the authorities, the government, the president, to be against the pursued policy, but it is unacceptable to glorify those who try to solve this problem with the help of a weapon. The authorities might change, but terrorism will spread everywhere. Encouraging terrorism is a deadly sin.
The person who encourages terrorism talks about its sinfulness. Not long ago, Serzh Sargsyan took part in the opening ceremony of the monument to Nazi criminal Yerevan in Yerevan. Moreover, the Armenian president, who is originally from Nagorno-Karabakh, was a direct participant of the genocide committed in the Azerbaijani town of Khojaly and other crimes against the neighboring people.
We should not forget that currently Armenia is headed by the so-called Karabakh clan of Kocharian Sargsyan. All of them are originally from Nagorno-Karabakh, former citizens of Azerbaijan at the Soviet time. They were the leaders of the illegal armed gangs of Nagorno-Karabakh and later came to power in Armenia as a result of the Terror Act. It shows that at the present time Armenia is not an independent state.
Serzh Sargsyan tries to convince the Armenian people that Armenia is an independent state and that unemployment, the social and economic collapse are temporary, despite the fact that the country has been in such a situation over the last 20 years. Understanding that it was absurd to talk about stability, the Armenian president admitted that there were plenty of problems, but they would certainly be solved.
Regarding the Karabakh problem, I want to repeat that there will be no one-sided compromises in the resolution of the conflict. Karabakh will never be a part of Azerbaijan. I have dedicated all my life to this problem, and I am ready to sacrifice not only my position, but also my life.
Such statements of the Armenian president contradict the negotiation process held between Baku and Yerevan under the mediation of Russia. By excluding the only option of the peaceful settlement of the conflict, Armenia hints that Azerbaijan will be able to restore its territorial integrity only by using military force. It's not difficult to predict the results of such a course of events. The answer was clearly demonstrated during the April events. Yerevan realizes it, so Sargsyan's statements are nothing more than another provocation and attempt to maintain the power. Renagaeva, CBC.